remember getting a phone call off the academy director on a Monday evening. I was like, "Oh, that's a bit weird." Weird. So I answered it. I was like, "Is everything all right?" And it's like, "Yeah, Cam. We've had a bid from Stoke, and I've accepted it."
Yes, sir. I'm your host, Leroy, and welcome back to The Insight. But before we start, could you make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any new content that will be coming your way very soon. But without further ado, enjoy the pod.
Now, obviously, I'm guessing after a great season like you guys had, you moved to Stoke, innit?
Yeah.
How was that move, man? Like, how did you feel? Like, who did you tell first?
I remember getting a phone call off the academy director on a Monday evening. I was like, "Oh, that's a bit weird." Weird. So I answered it. I was like, "Is everything all right?" And it's like, "Yeah, Cam. We've had a bid from Stoke, and I've accepted it." I was like, "Oh, so, all right." And then he said, "So a bit of a conversation, and that he's like, "So come in tomorrow morning with your parents, and we'll sort it." I remember just hanging up and going, just looking at my mum like, "Mum, I'm going to Stoke." She was like, "What? What?" And then it obviously explained it, and they were I think they were excited and confused like me. And then we went into either way the training ground in the morning, and then drove up to Stoke, and then all got it sorted on deadline day. And it was just, I remember just being a big shock. Like, you go from like at Ely Way to, I remember I was like doing my medical with Wilfred Bonney.
So,
and I was just like, what is happening here? How did this happen? Because it wasn't like I was playing every game in the first team. I was in and around it for pre-season, and then it was Nathan Jones actually at the time, and he just said to me, "You're young and we want to get promoted. I can't promise playing time. You'll develop a lot more if you go to Stoke." And he was very nice about it, reasonable about it. And but still, when I got there, I was just like, and obviously Stoke's got an amazing training ground and the stadium and everything. I was just like, wow, it took a while for it to set in. I was like, what is happening? Do you know? Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Like, did they give you like a tour of the stadium and whatnot? Like when you got there?
Yeah, I remember turning up and they give you a tour of the training ground with my parents, and then set you up in a hotel, and then you talk. You're getting introduced to a new person every 2 minutes and everything like that, and then showing your digs and stuff like that, and where you'll be living, and they try and make you feel as comfy and as welcome as possible.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit daunting, to be fair, because I'd never lived away from home. Didn't know what it was going to be like, but it was all good in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, quick question. So what? On your first year at Luton, were you staying at home and traveling in?
Yeah, I was only like half an hour in the car. So
Yeah.
I got the bus before I drove, and then once I drove, I was lucky enough to have a car.
Okay,
and drove in.
play. And obviously going back to you saying, like, I think you mentioned it before when you said you were going on the tours, you felt a bit homesick. Did you feel homesick when you got to Stoke?
I didn't actually. I must have just grown out of it, because I remember my first night in digs, and I was just excited, but a little bit scared, I guess. But not. I got to sleep all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was fine.
But I guess it's normal though. Like, I guess it's like we work all this time just in hope of like that move in it, and then when it happens, like you don't know how to act, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you bang on, and you just learn. What's the saying? You learn as you're doing it. You take it in your stride. Yeah.
For sure.
Even as a 17-year-old, you just like, however old or young you are, you just take it in your stride, I guess.
For sure. So how was it when you started, obviously, like training regularly? How was the level compared to like the players you were playing with at Luton?
I think I remember the biggest shock being how technically good everyone was.
Yeah.
I feel like at Luton, our technical players were further up the pitch.
Yeah.
But when I first came to Stoke, I remember thinking, like centre backs are so comfy on the ball and doing round the worlds in training and stuff. I'm like, Jesus, I need to step up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing that at a club like Stoke was that half the youth team's not from the UK. They're from, or not even, they're not local. You know, they're Scottish, Irish, French, Belgian, German. And that was, you think, oh God, because they have the pulling power to bring them all over and have the best team possible. Yeah.
That's true. So how is it now? Because obviously you're saying you had like people Scottish, Irish, but how was it like, let's say, communicating with the players that were not from the country? Did you learn the language? Did you learn a few words? Like,
You know what? I impressed myself. There was a few French lads, and now I pick up a few. I've actually picked up a few words.
what you got for me, bro? You still remember?
No, come on, Leroy. don't so it's more listening, it's not speaking.
No, I get that. Even what do you call it? When I was playing in America, when I was in Texas, we had a lot of players from South America. So like at the beginning, like, bro, it was the hardest thing because it's Spanish, but it's different Spanish in Mexico. It's different Spanish. Let's say. Yeah. So you can get it all jumbled up. And then obviously we had players from Brazil, and Brazil is Portuguese. So obviously there's some words that transfer over, but then it's like, bro, like what? And then because I was playing centre mid, and like you said, most of the technical players are at the top in it. So I had to learn how to say left, right, straight, forward.
Oh, even in Texas, you had to speak Spanish.
Yeah, like
that's mad. Yeah,
I learned a bit. Like I know how to say like let's go, calm down, like
vamos.
Vamos or dale. Or if you want to tell them to calm down, you say tranquilo.
Tranquilo, yeah.
So
I know that.
That's on Spanish for you, bro.
Fluent soon.
Yeah. So obviously you're at Stoke now, and you're playing games, and you're now doing Youth Cup there. How was your Youth Cup run there? Because now you've had one at Luton and one at Stoke.
Yeah, I was even lucky. I was lucky. I got to the semis that year, so that was even more amazing. And we beat West Ham with like Declan Rice in the team, and Nottingham Forest. I forget now. Preston. Yeah. And then who else did we beat? Brighton, and then we got onto Man City, and it was the most embarrassed I've been playing football.
Serious?
Yeah, it was the first leg was 6-0 and they had Foden, Diaz, Sancho, Mnecha, and it was just it was a lesson in football. I'll give it
a. Oh damn! You had them guys there.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. But what made it better? Second leg was 3-2. Okay. And like 7, I think it was 7-2 on aggregate, and Chelsea beat Tottenham 7-2 in the other semi-final. So like, at least we're as good or as bad as everyone else.
But what do you call it? You guys obviously turned it around that second leg. So what did you? Obviously it's time ago now, but what did you learn from the first leg that you did in the second leg?
Probably. It's at such a low point and everyone's so upset because the game's done with even another 90 minutes to go.
Yeah.
But I learned, I guess, never give up, because for the second leg we were a lot better. Yeah. And just show you're proud and everything like that, I guess.
Look. And obviously playing against some of them guys that are obviously gone on to do good things now, innit?
Yeah.
Could you tell that they were that good as they are now then, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I remember Foden, it was something like he took it over his head and then with his thigh, then flicked it through someone's legs and then did like a good through ball. And I was like, looked up at the scoreboard, it was 4-0 with like 55 minutes gone. I was just like, yeah, we're done. We're beat here. Like, how can you play again? Do you know what I mean? It just did a bit of brilliance, and then I've seen the score, and I was just like, oof, like that's how good these lads are. To be fair,
that's crazy, isn't it? Like you were saying, obviously Stoke had pulling power to get players in, but then it's like there's another level to them guys bringing players in as well, isn't it?
Yeah, another level.
So obviously you went on loan during that time. I don't even know how to pronounce the team, but I know it was National League South. No, North.
North, yeah.
What's the team called?
It was Ashton.
Okay, how was that time?
Yeah, it was very good. It's good because after I did 18s and a year in the 23s, and by that age you start growing up and maturing, and all you want to do is play men's football.
Yeah.
But you start realizing how hard it is to get into men's football.
Yeah.
So then to go on loan to Curzon Ashton and end up playing nearly like 50 games at a decent level, like at the time there was like probably like 8 to 10 like massive teams for that league, and they all wanted to be back in the football league.
Yeah.
So every other week you were playing in front of like 2, 3, sometimes 5 or 6,000, and playing against proper men, the proper people that have played at like a good level. And I came away with it with like 50 games, knowing that I could play that level, and like came away with probably more belief, thinking I'm like I can step on to the next level now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. What do you call it? What kind of stuff like did you learn there that you didn't learn at Stoke or Luton? Like, what new stuff did you bring on?
Well, because it was my first taste of men's football, I'd say all the like game management, how to like stay in a game, how to win a game.
Yeah.
It's hard to say in words, isn't it? But when you're on the pitch, you learn it, if you know, if you can get what I'm trying to get at anyway. And how to like, even like when there were fans in the crowd, like silencing a home crowd like does make a difference, because you can feel momentum in games and taking advantage of that momentum, and like stuff. One big thing was riding out a storm. Like each team usually has a little storm, and if you ride it out, you'll always have a good chance of picking up points and winning games, stuff like that.
True. You know, that's one thing like I never, like, you know, when you're younger, you're like, oh yeah, like obviously if the fans are there, but like I'm gonna play like the same regardless. But it's not until like you're in front like of a lot of fans, you're like, oh shoot, like this place is buzzing.
Yeah. See, I haven't played in front of massive crowds, but like I remember, like I think it was Stockport away. They could have gone up. I think they did go up, and it was like 6,000-7,000. Whole place was bouncing, and it was the end of the season, so we didn't have anything to play for. And I just thought, this is mad. This is why you play. Do you know what I mean?
For sure, man. For sure. How long did you spend there?
Frozen on me a bit, Leroy. My Wi-Fi's rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying, how long did you spend there?
Just the whole season.
Okay.
From August to April, really.
Yeah. How was it? Obviously facilities, training different. Like, how did you? Was it good? To be fair,
Curzon had like a big community club, so they had the money to like build a AstroTurf and a nice little stand, and so I was lucky in that sense that they had decent facilities. But you hear of like half the league, training in parks and renting out, school Astros and stuff like that. So, but I was lucky in that sense that they had their own that they used for, getting people into football and little kids all the time playing there. But luckily they were in charge of it, so it was good.
Oh, that's good. Was it because I know some teams in National League North and South are twice a week training, like kind of half-time kind of thing. Was it full-time or was it part-time?
Yeah, They were part-time, so I'd train in the day with Stoke, and then I'd drive up to Manchester and train with them in the evenings 2 or 3 times a week, and then just go to them for games.
Okay.
But it was good because you're playing so many games, you're mostly just driving it felt like you were just driving to a game every other day.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad at all.
What was the drive like? I don't know the distances between Stoke and Manchester.
Oh, it was mayhem. At the time, the M6, which is the motorway from Stoke to Manchester, was getting done. So I had to go through the country. You have to go through the countryway, and it was a nightmare. But if you did it now, I think it'd be quick, and it'd be like 50 minutes.
Okay.
But at the time, it was about an hour and a half.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because you're just stuck at like 40 miles an hour the whole way. But you got used to it. You know, once you do a journey about 20 times, once you're on the 100th time, it doesn't feel like anything.
Yeah, trust me, I know the feeling. What do you call it? Like how was the training? Obviously, you said you would go there for training and for games. How was the training at Kirsten Athletic? Is it Ashton? My bad. Sorry.
Ashton, sorry. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Because I think you have, again, it was different. Like you had people that have played in the Football League. You had people that have come from lower levels of non-league. But there's so much more. Even if at Stoke, like the technical side of it was so good, you had at Curzon Ashton, you had so many people with so much experience.
Yeah.
Like you had players driving the training and keeping the standards up, even at part-time football.
Yeah.
Because they knew you're playing 80, and you know each game counted.
That's
so
true.
Training had to be good.
That's true. Okay. So obviously you finished your time there and you went back to Stoke. What was your like intentions when you went back? Like, were you trying to get into the first team? Like, what was the situation like?
I was actually out of contract after my loan at Stoke, but I think because they said I did well, they'd give me another year, and I had nothing else going for me, like no other clubs asking for me. So obviously, I thought at the time that was the best option, and so I stayed at Stoke for another year with the intentions of hoping to. I kind of knew I wouldn't be near the first team.
Okay.
So I had my intention was to hopefully get a loan at the next level, maybe conference or somewhere like that. But it never came what I hoped for.
Yeah.
So I went into that season knowing that I had a small chance. I had probably a lack of belief. Had a small chance that only a small chance of being in the first team. So I just went into that season thinking I'll be in the 23s, but that's fine. And I just have to. I remember thinking use this season as like a show what I'm about, even if it is only in the 23s.
Yeah.
Show what I'm about, be the best possible player and person I can be, and you'll never know what will happen.
True. And then, like, it came to the end of the season, and today, like, how did they tell you that you weren't getting like an extension?
It was. So I did another season after I came back. Did another season with Stoke, and then it was COVID, so we all just got sent home. And then they kept in contact. To be fair, we'll talk to you this, that, and the other. But you get, I don't know about you, Leroy, or anyone else, but you get a good idea of what to expect.
Yeah.
And I knew I wouldn't be. I knew what was coming. So I was all prepared, and I accepted it and everything like that. But I knew I did. I knew I had a good season, even if it was 23s. That hopefully a few people would have seen me. Yeah. So they thought it was over Zoom, got released, but it was all fine. And then it was just keeping fit in COVID kind of thing.
Damn, they did it over Zoom. That's good. At least they did it, I guess, face to face kind of thing, innit?
Yeah, as face to face as possible, I guess.
Yeah. So obviously you were saying that. How did you stay like fit through like COVID at the beginning when everything was like really down? Like, how did you stay motivated to continue because you knew that something was going to eventually come up?
Yeah, I think by this time I had a lot more belief than I had ever before, really. I don't know why, but I did. And I just thought, if I work as hard as if I stay in best possible shape, then there'll be a lot of people. I'll be putting myself at the best possible advantage to get called up by a club, and like hopefully like smash it when you do get into a club. And I remember in COVID, my brother every day he was like, "I'll come," because it's a bit obviously going to the park on your own. But every day he was like, "I'll come with you to the park," and made sure I did my runs.
Oh, that's
He
sick,
did them with
man.
me. Or
Shout out to him.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout out to him. And then I was lucky enough. I had a little tiny. Well, I bought it for like £100 when I got my first wage. Little rubbish gym set in the garage. So I just bashed out gym in the garage and kept myself as fit as possible for a few months of COVID.
And I hear that. And then obviously, hold on, quick question. How old's your brother? You said he's older than you, right?
Yeah, he's 28 now.
Oh shoot! And he was coming out with you. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, he was working at home, and on his lunch break, he'd say, "Come on, let's go," and he just kept me doing it every day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Nah, big up to him, man. I love that, man. Shout out to your brother, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Fraser.
And then what do you call it? Quick question, yeah. When you obviously got your scholar at Luton, yeah, what was like? I'm guessing that was your first job, innit? Kind of first job.
Yeah.
What did you get? What was the first thing you bought with your wage?
First thing I bought, I can't.
Bro, the first thing I bought, yeah, I don't know what was going on with me. I think my first wage, yeah, I bought 2 pairs of Air Forces.
The Air Forces. I love it.
Still to this day, I don't know why I did it, but yeah, I bought 2 pairs of Air Forces. I was like, yeah, like I got money now, innit?
I remember, when you asked, the first thing that came to my mind was shoes. But I remember I got slated for my shoes first year at Luton, so it can't have been shoes. So I remember getting slated for them. Like I used to strangle my laces. The lads taught me, like, especially J.O.
J.O.
Like a few of the lads, they were like, "Cam, you've got to go a few sizes down because they're just strangling it." So, yeah, I can't remember what I bought, but it wasn't shoes.
How was the banter with your age group? Because obviously that was a big thing about like scholarship, innit? Because at the end of the day, you're going in there and you're playing football, but you're only really out on the pitch for like, let's say, like an hour and a half. The majority of the time you're spending it there with your teammates, and obviously after that, friends. Like, how's your relationship with your teammates?
Oh, it was great. The thing, even from your age to my age and the year below, like the banter and everything just flew all day long, every day. It was class, and because especially at Luton as a scholar, you spent so much time waiting on what the first team are doing. Spent so much time like in that changing room, just doing stupid stuff. But it was, and the whole day was just spent with all the lads. So the crack was, the banter and everything was really good. I remember that. You never forget some of the jokes that happened. Yeah.
Who would you say is the funniest guy in the changing room?
From Luton?
Yeah. Or from your age group, and obviously you had 2 in it, so your age group and below or above.
Yeah, I'd say I always remember J.O. like, every day, just making everyone laugh.
J.O. was a fool, man. Shout out to J.O.
He was funny when he, and then he was a funny fool. That's what he was. Oh. Yeah. And then, him and Alex.
Okay,
Atkinson kind of came as a duo.
Yeah.
They bounced off each other, and that was funny. And then Frankie Masonda was like the skip, and if anyone like got onto him, that was always funny because he was, the big dog, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I always remember that. And then, I remember Jack Cavan and Freddie, where they were like a trio and they just caused menace. Them three, winding everyone up. Yeah, it was a funny. Harry Bean, of course, he was a nutter.
Oh yeah, I
Absolute
remember him.
nutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good. It was. Yeah, he's always funny. Him. The next day, got on a plane over to Derry, and that was it.
Damn,
And
that's
to be
it.
fair though, because I wasn't so sure. I wasn't sure. They were very nice there and said like, "Oh, just see how you like it." But I think after a couple of days, I knew I'd like it, and I was just very grateful that they gave me the opportunity to play full-time football again.